Welcome to another episode of GTI TV. With me today is Shamoon Yaghmor. I'm sorry, how you pronounce that?
Yaghmor.
Why don't you describe a little bit about who you are and why you're connected to Go Together Initiative and why you choose to just help people and whatnot.
Hi, I'm Shamoon Yaghmor. I'm a day trader. The reason why I chose to join GTI is because they have a resemblance of what I like to do is to help people, and the way I would help people with GTI is connect to the younger ones that are part of the program and help them learn young and develop their skills at an early age, so when they become older they could pass on the skill they learned or develop it to themselves and become better as a trader or an investor.
And so financial literacy education,
right?
And all the things that we're doing now in the community, educating the youth and educating high school and college students and things that they don't learn in college. I mean, you didn't learn this in college,
No,
correct?
self-taught.
Yep.
Yes.
And so why do you think it's so beneficial to understand how to day trade, and did you understand how stocks, and what's the importance of setting rules for yourself so that you make sure you're in a position that you can take advantage of the market whether it goes up or down?
Very good question. So there's multiple factors that go into that. Is one, there's discipline, because once you discipline yourself, you become a better investor, and plus you'll be better with finances. So for everyday life, you'll be able to manage your own finances without having to use a CPA or someone to manage your money. So it'll be easier for you to do it yourself. But if you don't have the time, that's a different story. You could, whatever. But at the same time, when it comes down to learning about the markets and the conditions of what happens that dictates where the market's going, is because one, you educate yourself about fundamentals of like the world, anything that would affect trading and yourself in everyday life. Because think about it, if you understand the concepts that go into trading, you'll be more self-aware of what to load up on, like precious metals during like a wartime, or when the dollar's getting weaker, you would buy precious metals and anything that's like a hedge against it. Or if like something's happening in the Middle East and you're like, oh, what's in that area? What would impact that area? What's happening? You could invest into products around it, like oil. Like right now, oil's almost at 120 a barrel, right? So those are like factors that you could use as a leverage to trading up or down in the market. Because right now, stock market is not doing so hot. It's dropping because of barrel of oils have gone up significantly in the last few days.
Yeah. It's a huge benefit, just the education of global economics, right? And understanding the different segments that are going to benefit, because when the market does go down, and it's due for a correction, it's probably going to happen pretty soon.
Yes.
We've talked about that quite often. The more you know about how the market is, it's time in the market, not timing the market,
right?
But what you're advocating for is kind of taking advantage of, maybe taking a percentage of your money,
yes,
your wealth,
yes,
if you will, and using it to day trade, because it gives you better clarity on how to take advantage of certain market turns and corrections, as we're going through a situation with the oil, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And using that, what would you say to that as far as how people should be educated on this, and what are the advantages? Once you understand this, you start investing, because you shouldn't just stand still and just put the money in and let it go.
Right.
You should always be observing and take ownership of it yourself to understand where to invest and where to direct you, maybe to kind of look at different pockets to take advantage of, because you currently, you like the turbulent times,
yes,
right? Isn't that your favorite?
Up and down. So the way that you would allocate your money towards like an account I would say is have 4 separate accounts. One for short term, one for long term, and one for like, fun, right? One you play with and like learn. Or you could do paper trade, which is like free money that's not real, and you could practice with that as a beginner. And then once you actually are confident enough to do some trades, make your 4 accounts, fund them, and learn about what you like as a stock or a crypto or whatever you're into, and purchase that stuff. So like clothing, your brands, Nike, Adidas, and all that, put money into them, because you could get a dividend, so it'll make money on top of the stock itself. So you would want to break your accounts apart and not put all your eggs in one basket, of course, because that's basically risking everything at once. So it's better to have like a precious metal account or a short and long term and everything, because once you know what you're doing, then you'll be like, okay, this timeline, this is happening, I could do this with this money. And this timeline, you could change it up anytime you want, and you don't have to worry about anything, right? So you would want to be smart with how you allocate your money and how you take your profits when you want. So you would dictate that.
And you know, so when you mention when you allocate the money, I was kind of talking about how you allocate your overall portfolio. So you'd say you put most of your, or at least you segment out. They call the rule of thumb is you want 7 streams of revenue.
Yeah.
So you want to have that in your insurance, whether it's an IUL or S&P 500 or something that's just solid and it continues to grow, and you're always putting money into it. And then you're kind of playing with it, but you can run the simulations, right?
Yes.
And that's what you would recommend?
Yes.
I mean, that's truly playing a game and just understanding how to play the game. And there's a lot of different computer simulations that you can use just to kind of practice.
And also,
and then you put your rules in place, and you can have a good fundamental understanding of how to benefit from this turbulent market.
yes. And also on top of that, like how you said, the URL, it's a great investment as well. There's an insurance fund, obviously. You would put money into the insurance fund, and you could take a loan against it, and then you could put that money they took out into a high yield savings account if you wanted to, make money on top of that, or you could put it into a Roth IRA and make money on that, and they're all untaxed. And on top of that, you would double dip because you would be paying back your URL, and you'd be making interest on the money you put back in and your monthly payment. So that's more money in your pocket times 3 right there, let alone. And
so you like IULs?
Yes,
okay.
I agree, yes.
And I do too. I mean, and I think people should explore that to see if it's right for them. It'd be very beneficial because it also gives you a lot of, all the triggers that it has for living benefits.
Yes.
So it gives you long-term, short-term care and all that people get in trouble with. I mean, obviously, I think the statistic is 68% of the people get diagnosed with a critical illness or cancer or whatnot. They go bankrupt 7 years after diagnosis because they
Treatment's
expire
expensive.
all their it's expensive, right?
Yeah, it's very expensive.
And it not only affects the current family, but it also affects their extended family.
Yeah.
Because they're all trying to help, and what you're advocating for is let's help each other through Go Together initiative.
Yes.
To try to really help give funds to people, and especially with the financial literacy education. What we do is we give $100 to be invested with each individual student and whatnot, and they get to, at their choice, whatever they want, they give them an option, and they actually take action and invest. Do you like that approach?
I do, because now you're putting the power in their hands to actually try. Because if some people can't afford it, because not a lot of people have the money, the funds, because these times and age is like very expensive to afford stuff. So. But now with that type of help that you give, as GTI is giving, you'll give them the power to invest a little bit and put their pinky in the murky waters a little bit, and have fun with it. And then if they make money, they'll learn, and they'll want to do it again. They get excited about it, and that's how they learn from just one small help. It goes a long way, because then they want to do more, and then they'll probably help other people in the long run.
Yeah, and don't you find that many times you go through this with people and you get done kind of educating them and they're educating you on the way their behavior is, and then they don't take action. They don't have any takeaways because they don't actually take action. And that's what we're trying to reinforce. Just take action. Go ahead and put in that first deposit, and then you're playing, we all play those investment games when we're in school, right?
Yeah.
But we're playing with fake money. Now you're playing with real money. And then you follow up with them, and it really helps them. And then really kind of set up the rule of thumb: 20% savings, 20% investing, 10% tithing. So you give back 10%, and that's really empowers people to give them a purpose.
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're doing, right? And that's why you're working with the GTI and Grow Together initiative to really help expand this initiative.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not mine; it's ours. And that's what makes it powerful. Is that it's really to help everybody kind of engage and engaged in helping others, giving resources and support that otherwise aren't there. I mean, we all go through experiences where we wish we had someone just to go to with everything that we do, and this is what we're trying to provide. We're trying to give a go-to, all-inclusive for everyone, that people just don't have the resources and support. They don't have the options. They don't know of these options. They don't know there's someone like you out there that will help educate them. and take the time for no charge.
Mm-hmm.
We'll educate them, but you do have to take action. You do have to take ownership of it and be responsible for yourself. Wouldn't you say that in most cases, people just want to hand it over and let people do it?
In this day and age, people just want handouts these days. But at the same time, like you said, there's people out there with a lot of potential, and they just don't know it until they're given that opportunity. And then they have that opportunity presented to them.
Yep.
They can use that potential to wherever they have to go.
Right. And it's just really kind of, the biggest part is for people to take the information. It's kind of like when you go to a lecture or any type of discussion about anything. The biggest question you have is, what are some maybe 3 takeaways, and what things you're going to take action on? And that's the key component. Because what are they actually, and then what are they actually going to take action on? I mean, you might have a great talk, but what did you do with that information?
So,
and go ahead.
So for a takeaway, 3 takeaways I would say is 1, if you get the allocation of the $100 and you do good and you make some money, I would like try to do some digging on your own and try to figure out how to make that money and flip it to more money, and then get like involved in it. And if you can't take the action, ask more questions. It's good to ask questions if you're stuck, and if you need that little empowerment by like asking a question, or say like you have a something holding you back, we could talk it out, and we could take baby steps to like get to that level where you will take action. You don't have to rush it, because not everyone's in the same page, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be one of them. 2 would be listening. It's because some people are like halfway listening, like it goes one ear, sometimes it goes out the other, right? But at the same time, if you have a good discipline, like learning discipline, it would be great, because if you listen, you'll understand the fundamental of it, and at the same time, you could use that fundamental and adapt it to your own self too. It's not just trading itself, because that discipline you learn could mold yourself as well, right? So I would say that. And the 3rd one I would take away would be like to let's see. Third one I would say it's like,
well, giving them access, giving them the resource that we have a whole plethora of educational materials.
Yeah.
And modules, if you will.
Yeah.
And so using them, and go at your own pace.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a classroom.
It's not a race.
And it's not, you're never completely educated, because there's always more to learn.
Learn every day.
There's always, because it always changes. Every day changes for all of us, and we always have more things that are. Be curious, and really kind of building that curiosity with everything that you do. I mean, and that's the key component, in my opinion, is that build that curiosity in each of us, and give everybody options, so that we can, understand the different options and compare them to something else, and then choose the best options for them. Not necessarily what's best for somebody trying to sell you something.
No.
What's best for them.
Yeah.
And given the alternatives. Now, I can give you my suggestion, but that doesn't mean it's the right suggestion for you, because you might have a better connection with you than, say, another day trader or another person doing financial advising, and that's okay. It's building that trust, because you need to be with somebody and take the advice, but make the decision yourself. And that's the key component. And then set yourself that you're helping others to achieve success, whatever that is, and kind of getting people set up so they have life insurance, health insurance. They have all these benefits. They're building their generational wealth, but doing it in a 30, 40 year, 50 year down the road type of time frame at all times. I mean, I always loved with Warren Buffett. He invests for 40 years down the road. Now he's 90 years old and he still does it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, pretty impressive.
He makes more than a CEO does.
He does. He does. Yeah. And that's what makes it interesting. So, the final question is, are you excited to be part of Grow Together Initiative? And how do you think you can contribute? What's the one thing that you would like to see happen with your connection with Grow Together Initiative, GTI?
So I'm very excited to be part of GTI and help the people that are willing to learn and have the strive for it. And I'm open to, helping GTI with anything that needs to be done as like literacy, financial literacy, or day trading, or any investing advice. And I am very excited about this. Like, I look forward to working with you and everyone else on the team.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Shamoon. Appreciate it. And from GTI, thank you very much. Until next time.